Unbroken by Laura Hillenbrand is a great book about the story of Louis Zamperini, who we learn about his childhood, his training for the Olympics, and how when the Olympics were canceled due to the World War II starting, he joined the Air Corps to serve the United States in World War II. While serving in the Air Corps, his plane has some malfunctions, and he finds himself stranded in the Pacific Ocean with nothing but a life raft and his two plane mates. While on the ocean, they battle with the sun and the weather and the wind out in the ocean. And not only that, they have to deal with the sharks who are trying to get them, the Japanese who are firing at them from up above in the air. And this lasts for 47 days. On the 46th day, they see what they think is an island, and so they try and steer their way that way, only to find out that it's a Japanese ship in which they are taken aboard, rehabilitated, but then taken on as prisoners of war. The end of the book, we find out how he makes his way back to California. It's a very informative book about what a soldier went through during World War II and what a soldier goes through when they are a prisoner of war. And I'm just going to read the introduction of Louis. So the boy's name was Louis Silvi Zamperini, the son of Italian immigrants. He had come to the world in Orleans, New York on January 26, 1917, 11.5 pounds of baby under black hair as coarse as barbed wire. His father, Anthony, had been living on his own since age 14, first as a coal miner and boxer, then as a construction worker. His mother, Louise, was a petite, playful beauty, 16 at marriage and 18 when Louis was born. In their apartment, where only Italian was spoken, Louise and Anthony called their boy Toots. From the moment he could walk, Louis couldn't bear to be corralled. His siblings would recall him careening about, hurdling flora, fauna, and furniture. The instant Louise thumped him into the chair and told him to be still, he vanished. If she didn't have her squirming boy clutching in her hands, she usually had no idea where he was. In 1919, when 2-year-old Louis was down with pneumonia, he climbed out his bedroom window, descended 1 story, and went on a naked tear down the street with a policeman chasing him and a crowd watching in amazement. Soon after, on a pediatrician's advice, Louis and Anthony decided to move their children to the warmer climes of California. Sometime after their train pulled out of Grand Central Station, Louis bolted, ran the length of the train, and leapt from the caboose. Standing with his frantic mother as the train rolled backwards in search of the lost boy, Louis's older brother, Pete, spotted Louis strolling up the track in perfect serenity. Swept up in his mother's arms, Louis smiled. "I knew you'd come back," he said in Italian. This was a great introduction to Louis, and this book was a really easy read. It was full of great information about that time period, and I think that students would really get a good read from it. There's actually an altered version of this book also available for more geared towards young adults, because some things in this book are not maybe appropriate for some of the younger students, but they've made a new version of the book where they just have edited some of those things out that maybe those students shouldn't be reading. But I would recommend reading this book in a classroom as you're studying maybe World War II to really give the students a feel of what those people must have been going through at that time.